There's literally nothing easy about having a child in the NICU. You want them home. There's nothing easy about that.
Oh, so sweet. Today is World Prematurity Day, the day meant to raise awareness of preterm birth and the problems those families continue to face. Officials with the March of Dimes are hoping to raise awareness and to get families the assistance they need.
So we're joined now, Dr. Hillary Robinowitz Ellens, right? Okay, so you go by Dr. Ellens. You're joining us now. Thank you so much. And it's important to highlight the work that the March of Dimes is doing.
Absolutely.
But you have a very personal story because you're an OBGYN and you also had preterm triplets.
I did. So I will say this honestly, no matter what, as an OBGYN, I have been dealing with prematurity my whole career, and it's not going away. And then to end up being on the other side of it is a completely different experience, and actually, really brings it to light about, like I mentioned to y'all, imagine what happens to the average person who doesn't have a medical education having to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about not only you being a doctor, but MOM, right? Those are the most important letters.
Gosh, right.
Before or after your name is that. So let's talk about your triplets. We've got some pictures. That you brought. By the way, they're 16 now?
They're 16, almost 17.
Wow.
Well, they're almost 21. I know how that works, right? I got daughters too, Dr.
Yeah.
Ellens. Okay, so here we go. One of them was 1 pound, 7 ounce.
Correct.
1 pound, 11 ounces, 2 pounds, 2 ounces. That is just almost
palm
can
of
fit
your
in the
hand,
palm
maybe.
of your hand.
Yeah.
So what has you being a mom through all this, as well as a
look at this
doctor,
picture.
how has it changed like your perspective on preterm birth and these stages?
I think that I am definitely, not just as a mom, but as a physician who takes care of pregnant women every day. On Saturday, I was on call. I think in terms of the long haul picture of this, because it's not just their birth and their time in the NICU, it's what's going to happen when they graduate from the NICU, and what is that going to look like? It is such a wide spread of fear and difficulty and challenges that people don't realize that, people say, when are you going to know if the baby's okay? When they're 25 and they don't live with you.
Right.
but in the case of my girls, that is part of the deal, like it's an ongoing thing where you think, okay, what does this look like?
Well, yeah, there are a long list of potential health consequences for mom and for baby, and we also just got a new report card that was released today.
Yes, so we're going to
but it's not good.
It's not good, and unfortunately, it hasn't been good for years, and we're not improving, and that's the most significant thing. We are still at the same place we were 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We're just increasing, unfortunately.
Okay, so when we look at some of these numbers out there, you got about 1 in 10, 380,000+ are born preterm. That was in last year. Almost a quarter of pregnant people didn't get the prenatal care. There's some, disparities when it comes to racial disparities in the Black community.
The racial disparities are enormous.
Why are we not improving? Other sectors of healthcare seem to be improving and advancing. What's going on with this?
All right, so let's talk about why we aren't improving. The access to care is essential. We recently, and on this study, the biggest thing we changed this year for the March of Dimes study is we added payers, meaning we looked at insurance. 4 out of 10 deliveries are basically going to be paid for by Medicaid. Those are the people who have access to Medicaid. That does not include working poor who don't qualify for Medicaid. So when we talk about the access to care, it is limited. Trust probably is part of it too. And when we talk about I hate saying this, but you mentioned people of color, African American, Asian, Latino, they are not getting the care as much as we, Caucasian population is, but it's still across the board, 10% of all deliveries are going to be premature. That's enormous.
It is enormous. So what can we do? What can we do about this? Their education is huge. How do people in marginalized communities demand the better care while being taken seriously? Because it has been reported that concerns oftentimes, unfortunately, in the medical community don't get taken seriously.
Well, I think the first thing is access to care and ask for care. And pretty much we also need to work better at providing additional besides Medicaid care. We need to be in the community, and March Dimes does in different communities have that kind of access with mobile care, going to direct communities and providing care where people are, expanding midwifery care, expanding, labor coaches or doulas or people who could potentially make somebody feel comfortable with their prenatal care. But also education is the key. We have a lot of opportunity to really make a difference if someone knows what they can get and what they have access to.
Dr. Ellens, we are out of time. This could be a 1-hour documentary just talking about where we are, where we'd like to be a year from now. Thank you for what you and your team and everyone else. We know there's a lot of March of Dimes families that are grateful to the services, all the NICU faculty. We have some brilliant minds here in Charlotte.
So don't forget,
that's right.
Donate.
Donate.
Yes.
There you go.
Donate.
Thank you so much for your
Absolutely.
time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.